A brand new area has been announced for Pokemon Sleep, and it is coming in just a few weeks. Now, there's actually a lot of news to cover in this video, and so in this video specifically, we're going to cover the new area, which is called the Old Gold Power Plant, and we're also going to discuss the various berry types that this area could potentially have. Now, if you have a prediction as for the 3 berries that could potentially be set for this area, leave a comment on this video, and then we can go back to this video once we actually know, and then do a follow-up. Maybe I'll highlight some of your comments in that future follow-up video. So if any of you guys get it right, then that would be very exciting. And just for the historical record, post a comment that is not edited, because you know that's part of it. And so let's just hop right into it. We also have an event here that we will cover, and also a little bit here. And then in future videos, maybe we'll speculate a little bit about what kind of Pokemon will be in this new area, and also some potential main skills. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet for the Pokemon Sleep content, make sure to do that if you're interested in these types of videos. So let's hop into the news announcements. And it is saying, new area coming soon, Old Gold Power Plant. It's a little bit funny, but we have GG for Greengrass Isle, and we have CB for Cyan Beach, and this one's a good old OGPP. We probably need to find a new acronym for that, but yeah. Thank you for playing Pokemon Sleep. It's been reported that the new area, the Old Gold Power Plant, has been found, and it seems likely that new Pokemon encounters await you there. So basically confirming that some new Pokemon are coming up. And it is starting at October 2nd, which is basically, is that 2 weeks from now? Let me check the calendar. That is like way soon. It's not next week, and it's actually in the middle of the week afterwards, which is kind of awkward. But yeah, there's also, so this week is nothing. Next week is an event for sleep styles. We'll get back to that later. And then basically in the middle of the week after, then we get this new area. Now that I had a look at the calendar, probably should have put up some image here, but okay. So the requirement, complete the dex goal of registering 340 sleep styles. Finding more undiscovered sleep styles will help you prepare for the debut of the Old Gold Power Plant. Note, you may find this easier to do during Sleep Style Discovery Week, which begins on September 23rd, which is next week. More details will be announced at a later date. We hope you look forward to this. So, a new area. This means that at some point in time, they will have to do maintenance. That is probably going to take place on Tuesday next week. Potentially the Tuesday afterwards, and then that following Wednesday, this area is up. My bet is on Tuesday next week, and so we may have some details way in advance, which could be interesting. If any of these new Pokemon are ingredient specialists, we won't know which ingredients they have until we actually catch them in game, because that stuff is server side. But if there are some skill specialists in there, maybe a couple of new berry specialists, something like that, then we should have a lot of details coming pretty briefly. I think by Friday, we should have some more information here. They probably want to ride that Suicune hype that we just closed here. Suicune's still in the widget and everything. So the other event, before we jump into the berry speculation, and I hope that by now you guys have put some berry speculation comments in the comment section that are comments that haven't been edited, so that we can have a recap video in the future, because that would be fun. Yeah, here we go. Event, Sleep Style Discovery Week. And the outline is saying the following. You can fill in more entries in your sleep style decks during the Sleep Style Discovery Week. This week-long event is a special opportunity that will make it easier to encounter Pokemon sleep styles that you haven't registered in your sleep style decks yet. We encourage you to discover Pokemon sleep styles you haven't discovered yet. All right, and yeah, it's a full week of it, and we can see here that all days Pokemon Sleep styles that you haven't discovered yet are more likely to appear during sleep research, and the final strength gains from dishes will be multiplied by 1.25, my bad, or 2.5 for extra tasty dishes, or 3.75 for extra tasty dishes on Sunday only. That is because the tasty dishes already have a multiplier, so a few Pokemon of different sleep styles will appear. And yeah, this is just the general. You have to actually track sleep within that event period to get the bonuses. Makes sense. So, with that said, there is something I want to draw your attention to, and that is the map. Now, as far as I'm aware, the area bonus max is limited by the total number of sleep style dex goals that you've hit. So that's just how that works. And the thing here is, for a lot of you guys, maybe you didn't do the easy ticket trick. Maybe you haven't played since launch. But for me personally, I'm pretty excited about some elevated area bonus max, which I will think is coming alongside this old gold power plant area. Because if we have a look at my account, this is my primary account, Greengrass Isle at 60%, Cyan Beach 55%. However, I'm currently at Snowdrop Tundra and Topalo at 60%, Snowdrop Tundra 60%, Lapis Lakeside 60%. So by the end of this week, I literally have the max area bonus for every single area. And so that is something to consider. Just have a look at where you're at and maybe be happy about the fact that we get a new area. A couple months ago, I did make a prediction that we would either see some sort of dex goal introduced to maybe elevate this area bonus or a new area. And it's funny, I had that conversation yesterday. I was like, uh-oh, I'm almost there. Like, my max area bonus is basically here now on all the areas. And then this morning we got the whole news of the old gold power plant. So with that said, it is time to jump into the speculation. And the way that I want to do this is actually by using my widget alongside my website. So in this video, we will be having a look at some of the articles that I've written. Most of them currently are still very detailed in terms of the widget, a lot of the modules already, but the full-on strategy article is not done. But a lot of the tables are still useful, and we can also use the on-screen widget here. So actually, in order of the map, I just want us to go through a little bit about the various berry specialists, because for the most part, a new area is the most interesting in terms of what those favorite berries or favored berries will be. In my opinion, it is possible that we could, for example, get a mix of 2 fixed berries and then 1 random, or 2 random and 1 fixed, or maybe all 3 berries could be random, like Greengrass Isle. Now, I don't think that's particularly likely, and the current areas cover almost all of the typings. Now, we can start at Cyan Beach because Greengrass Isle is always random except for the events. And so if we start at Cyan Beach, then we have... I don't know what happened to the music, but we're going to talk about Feraligatr, and I'm going to see if I can reconnect my stuff so we can have something to listen to while we talk Pokemon Sleep. So, Feraligatr is among the top tier berry specialists across all the berry typings. And alongside Feraligatr for Cyan Beach, we have Dodrio. Where is Dodrio? Dodrio is here. Oh, come on. Dodrio. There we go. For flying types, we have water, flying, and then we also have Clefable, which is the fairy typing, and that is Cyan Beach. Then we make it to Taupe Hollow, which has Typhlosion, fire typing, makes sense. We also have, actually, Marowak too, but Ninetales. We have 2 fire types that are berry specialists that work very well at Taupe Hollow. And then we have Marowak for the ground type. And then a little bit oddly, we have Onyx, which is a rock type berry specialist, which is still pretty good, especially now with ribbons. But Onyx can evolve, so it's kind of a weird one. Maybe jumping the gun here on the speculation, but maybe we see something similar for Scyther, where Scyther is a bug and then evolves into Steel Caesar. But yeah. Then we make it to Snowdrop Tundra, and the berry specialist there is Houndoom. Actually, we have a lot of berry specialists for Snowdrop Tundra. We also have Walrein. Walrein among the top berry specialists in the whole game. It's just a busted Pokemon. And then we have the normal typing. I would say primarily you are going to run a Eradicate, shout out to the boss rat. And the other Pokemon here is Vigoroth. Vigoroth can evolve into Slacking, but Slacking is a little bit weird in the sense that it gets slower, it gets a really bad ingredient rate, which is when it's high for a berry specialist, you want that as low as possible. And then that skill rate is very awkward, so it doesn't farm berries well, it doesn't have the skill specialty, so it can't bank skills, and it's slow, so kind of weird. And then we have Lapis Lakeside. Mankey, Primeape is of the fighting type, Lapis Lakeside, and I anticipate that we could potentially be getting Annihilate for the Halloween event, because Primeape can actually evolve in Generation 9, and so it's kind of strange that a decent Pokemon in Primeape could potentially be holding a future evolution. We'll just have to see how that pans out. We have the Paldean starters, so Annihilate seems reasonable to me to add in. And then there is no berry specialist for the Psychic type, so let's just bring in Espeon just to showcase the typing. We talked about Psychic, it doesn't exist. And then we have Meganium, of course. Meganium, also one of the best berry specialists in the whole game, and it's absolutely busted. Now, this leaves us left with 6 typings, because we had, let's see, do some quick maths here. We have 4 areas that have fixed berries. Each of them have 3 berry specialists to an extent. Obviously, Psychic type berry is favored at Lapis Lakeside. There's no berry specialist for the Psychic type. That's not what we're talking about. We actually talk about the items themselves, and for that there are 6 typings that are left. It is the Bug type, it's the Poison type, it is the Ghost type, it's Electric, Steel, and Dragon. Now, a lot of these have berry specialists, and this is what makes this video and this whole speculation and this new area so interesting. It is only the Psychic type that lacks a berry specialist. And so for whichever these 3 fixed berry types will be, if there are 3 fixed berries for this new area, then there are 3 berry specialists for certain that are already in the game that will get a huge buff, like crazy buff, because some of these berry specialists, as you'll see as we click through them, are among the strongest in the game already. I think the first one that makes sense to talk about is Raichu. Now, just flat out, Raichu without favorite berry for a lot of you guys, and for me included, whenever I sort by berry power or berry strength, it's number 1, 2, or 3 on most of the islands. And it is because it is so fast, and it's got a decent ingredient rate, all things considered, for a berry specialist. Now, the announcement in the game here says, here it is, yeah, Old Gold Power Plant. Now, old, maybe that is referring to something ghost-like. Gold, maybe that is metal, steel. And power plant, that's electric. Now, I want to draw your attention to the time when the Lapis Lakeside new area was announced, and we talked about that in the comments, in the forums, in the discords. The thing here that we have to distinguish is the overall theme and the actual berries that are chosen for that theme. Now, an example here is Lapis Lakeside. It features a lot of dragon type Pokemon, but it doesn't have the berry for the dragon type as favored. So even though it says old, maybe there are some ghost types there, but it may not be that the ghost type berry is actually favored here. So there's not like a one-to-one like with the naming and the theme and the berries that are chosen. It's kind of something in between. And so we can make a good guess here. If it's called a power plant, I think it's safe to assume that it's going to be electric on the berry. If it's not, I don't know when there would be a good time to, if it's not at the power plant. So for me, I think it is 90% likely that we'll see Grape Berry getting a favored area. And let me go on a tangent here, so buckle up. This is going to be a long video, but honestly, it is one of the most exciting topics to cover this whole year. So of all 2024 news, this video right here is probably the most interesting. A new area is a big deal. So Raichu is an electric berry specialist. If this somehow really elaborates on that electric theme, then Raikou is a Pokemon that has Helper Boost. It is an electric Pokemon. And what's interesting with the Helper Boost main skill is that all of the Pikachu count as unique species. And Halloween is coming up in not too long. And so with the Halloween hat Pikachu being a berry specialist, that's actually pretty decent alongside Raikou and Raichu. And actually, if you have a look at Pikachu too, Pikachu is not too far behind from Raichu. You do miss out on some main skills potentially. But yeah, actually, I do have the comparison right here. And I just realized you can't see my screen anymore. So I've been talking a little bit off the screen, you can't see it. But yeah, let's just compare the Pikachu to the Raichu because they're quite similar. Raichu is way faster, don't get me wrong. Like, if you choose between Pikachu and Raichu, there's a big difference here. Although it's just when you stack that up with the Raikou, with the ribbons, it's a close call. And at this point in time, the only other electric type Pokemon that I can think of is Ampharos. I don't think there are any else. Not the Den. Yeah, maybe the Dene. I thought the Dene was a fairy type, but no, that's main series. Okay, well, we have the Dene too. And yeah, so for the electric type berry, I feel like that must be a 90% chance. And if not now, then when would a power plant not be the place for an electric type berry? That leaves us with 5 other berries. Let's go in the other direction. Let's have a look at some of the berries I don't think are likely at all. And that is the dragon type berry. I don't think this is it for the dragon type. I would assume that maybe there would be some cave or some den or something, maybe a Johto reference with like the dragon's lair or stuff like that. So I don't think the dragon type is happening here. Now, a lot of you guys in the nirtheart Discord have had some insane discussions, absolutely blasted the chat today. A lot of good stuff to read. So if you haven't become a YouTube member yet and are on the fence, like, let me tell you, the Pokemon Sleep chat today is just filled with so many cool predictions and whatever else. So locate the join button on a computer or an Android device. iPhone is in a clash with, no, the other way. Google is in a clash with the iPhone. So on the iPhone, you won't see the join, but that's what you need to do. Join, get access to the Discord. You can hop into all the conversations. Now, one of the things that was brought up in the chats is the fact that if you go to Kanto, there is a power plant there, and Muck is a Pokemon that is present. that is a little bit interesting because we do have a poison type Pokemon in Arbok. It's not super strong. Maybe potentially in the future we'll see some sort of main skill that affects, let's say, well, this is another video where we speculate that, but I just want to shoot in a point here. There could, for example, be like a poison boost or something that just makes poison Pokemon on your team faster. Not necessarily to trigger like a production like the helper boost, but maybe just like some poison stacking stuff. I don't know. Poison likes poison, something like that. The main series game, you have the oh man, I forgot what it's called. There is a clump of something that's not a leftover, but it's the other thing. Man, I gotta play the games again. I'm rusty. Anyway, the Arbok is a potential Pokemon that could be a favored berry here at the old gold power plant, just because of the Kanto references. It has Muck in it. You have Voltorb, Magneton. And so the thing that I wanted to talk a little bit to with the Arbok and the poison type is, personally, I think on the theming of it, probably not it. So we can also showcase Toxicroak, which is another poison type Pokemon, and we have Swalot. Overall, Arbok is not a very strong berry specialist, despite the fact that the Chesto berry, for the poison type, is among the highest value berries in the game. It's too slow, ingredient rate too high, very awkward, even though it heals itself tremendously. So in my opinion, probably would put a 10% chance, 20 on the poison typing. And so we talked about electric, dragon, and poison. That leaves the bug, ghost, and steel types left. And among the types here, I think potentially the ghost typing is the most likely, just because we have Halloween coming up in not too long. It says old gold power plant. I don't know exactly why it is gold and power plant in the same thing. One thing that came to mind instantly is Gimme Goal. I don't have a picture to put up on the screen or anything like this, but in the main series games, there is a Pokemon called Gimme Goal, and it's basically a chest of gold coins, and it's a steel and ghost type. So if you have steel, ghost, and electric for the old gold power plant, it fits, like it snaps right onto there. Like the theming, the berries, the everything, just done deal. And in that case, the Bugberry is the odd one out that is not here. Personally, I do think in the future it is more likely that the poison and bug types are in the same area. Maybe we get a Viridian Forest type, what would you say, themed area. And at that point, maybe we have the poison, bug, and a random berry combination. And then for the dragon type area, maybe we just have dragon type favored and 2 randoms. Something like that. I don't know. But we still have to talk about some of these. So Bonnet is a berry specialist. And if you're subscribed to the Bropenings, I've never pronounced that. I'm just like Brovinnie. But the Bropenings YouTube channel, go check him out in the YouTube description here. I have his YouTube channel linked at all times. He just put out a really, really in-depth video on berry finding S as a sub-skill on the best Pokemon, or not even the best, but like the various types of Pokemon. So Gengar, should Gengar have berry finding? Tyranitar, is Tyranitar good with berry finding, or Dragonite? And so I recommend that video now that we have Bonnet and Gengar up on the screen here, because Gengar comes pretty close in berry production value as Bonnet. Now, if potentially Mega Evolutions come in the future, then maybe something happens, because both of these happen to have Mega Evolutions. Like a lot of the other Pokemon in the game here, that's just randomly in here, like Heracross, I don't know, Kangaskhan, So, Ghostberry, Banette. It is not impossible that we will see some new ghost types since the word old in there, and yeah, most things that are very old are kind of ghosts. So, Banette is a Pokemon that could potentially be getting a pretty huge buff coming up. And in my opinion, I feel like potentially Banette is a bit of a sleeper Pokemon right now, no pun intended. And the reason is a lot seem to be hunting the berry finding Gengar with mushrooms instead and kind of forgetting Banette. But Banette is a perfectly viable Pokemon. It is decently fast, and the Ghostberry has decent value too. The thing that I think most people have passed on is the fact that there is no Ghostberry favorite area. But if this place here comes up next, then Banette may be a Pokemon to kind of consider. So we also have Halloween coming up, and that would be a great time to just have a good chance of finding a Shuppet and evolving it. And yeah, we also have the Steel type. Steelix is one of the best berry specialists in the whole game. The reason is that it is super fast. It's actually not, but the berry value is crazy. It's the same as Walrein. Walrein 2 is slow, but it's kind of fast because that berry is just so heavy. So you have to account for the fact that they're carrying really heavy berries so that when they're doing their things, then they're going to be a bit slowed down, but the overall value is there. So for Steelix, if Steelix gets a favorite berry at this old gold power plant, just need to make sure I say it right every time, then Steelix is gonna get a huge buff. A lot of people currently are running Onix because you can kind of dual hunt these. You can get Onix to friendship level 10, and then you have basically just work on getting 2 viable Onix, and then sometime in the future, you evolve one of them into Steelix and you have one of each type. The one thing that is holding people back though on the Onix and Steelix hunt is the fact that they are very expensive. They are 16 points to catch, I think, at least for the Onix. Steelix maybe even more. Either way, you would want to catch Onix. I don't think there's much to save from not spending the candies and the items to evolve Onix into Steelix. The added value of getting to dual hunt Onix and Steelix at the same time, probably in biscuit value, makes it way more worth it. So Steelix is going to get a huge buff and meta relevance in the case that Steel becomes a favored berry this new area. And I am actually super curious to go to Topalo in not too long, use my Entei, my fire type team, and just do the slumbering hunts here for the Onix and Steelix. I'm just a little bit hesitant personally because I've been on this Delibird hunt for so long. It's so elusive, it never shows up, and it's super expensive to catch. Basically the same story, except the fact that I have caught like 20 Delibird at this point, and none of them have had triple eggs, and basically all of them have speed down, ingredient down. I'm just, I don't want an expensive hunt again anytime soon. So I'm probably going to focus on the other favored berries on this new area and then eventually get a Steelix, I guess. And that leaves us with the final typing, which is Bug. Butterfree, also Pokemon that is slept on quite a bit. I would say it is more of an early game Pokemon. On my free-to-play series, a lot of you guys have, or at least some of you have pointed out that Caterpie is a Pokemon that can be evolved very early, like at level 12 or something, for also not a lot of candies, I'm pretty sure. I did mention we should have a look at my website just briefly to have the daily showcase here, now that it's getting pretty close at least to getting published. So here's the evolution section. Butterfree has 2 pre-evolutions and is the final evolution in its evolution line. Caterpie can evolve into Metapod level 5 in exchange for 40 candies. What am I saying? Metapod can evolve into Butterfree at level 8 in exchange for 80 candies? That's ridiculous. I had no idea it was level 8. Is that true? I don't have a Caterpie or a Metapod. I do have a Caterpie. I have a shiny one, but I don't have a Metapod. But actually, I did source this data quite rigorously with the help of you guys in the nirtheart Discord. So yeah, I just said that again, didn't I? Butterfree, a Pokemon that I think could gain a lot of favor if it somehow shows up as a Pokemon that is having its berry as favored. The new area here, the old gold power plant. I mean, it's not impossible. Add an old power plant. Maybe there are bugs creeping all over. Although I feel like the bug and poison combo, thematically, it makes more sense for them to be in a forest someplace. I don't know, just me. So if I was to make a guess, and this is my official prediction, I think that the Grape Berry, the Ghost Berry, and the Steel Berry is gonna be fixed berries for this area. And then I think the Dragon type berry, Poison, and Bug are in the future sometime. This area I do think will have 3 fixed berries, but we don't know. We'll have to revisit that. And your comments on this video with your prediction is going to be super interesting to go back and look at. I'll go through every single comment on this video here in that future video, and we'll just review it. So if you haven't left a comment already, go do it. That also means that there could be a curveball. Maybe it's not Ghost, but it's Poison. Maybe it's not Steel, it's Poison. I don't think Bug or Dragon personally, but we'll just have to see. So overall, I hope you found this video interesting. Leave a comment on it. I'm super curious to hear your predictions, and don't edit the comment once you posted it. Then you need to post a new comment and delete the old, or edit it to say something like thanks for a great video, something like this. All right, I'll talk to you guys in another video.